Okay, yogis, second half of Sahasrara Crown Chakra class. We left off with Manipura, seated with knees bent, heels to the ground, hip distance apart. Bring your hands back behind, lift the heels. So they're fully off the mat. Lift the hands, fully off the mat. The only part of your body that has contact with the floor at this point are your sit bones. Bring your hands behind your thighs for support. But lift and lengthen through the spine. Don't allow the back to round and slouch. Lift up, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Lift the chin, lift the crown. Maybe you'll be able to release your hands with the palms facing inwards, shoulder distance apart. Maybe not, but just hold it at a point where you can really begin to feel the abdominal muscles engage. Come back to your breath. The third, Manipura loves breath work. So send the breath all the way down into that solar plexus. Maybe you can extend one leg straight, but you're increasing the muscle activity. So just do what you're able for. Maybe you can extend both. Full boat pose. But just hold it at whatever point you're able. And then rest the heels back on the mat, come to sit upright. Crisscross your ankles in front and drop down into a forward fold. Let the head drop and relax. Get heavy in the hips, relax. Well done. Next pose is for the heart chakra. So if you extend your legs straight, drop down onto your elbows, lift your left hip and place your hand directly underneath and then come and sit on your own hand. Do the same with the right, sit back. Keep the elbows tight, push up through the chest and drop the head back for fish pose. Breathe into the chest. Lengthen through the front of the throat. And then slowly lift your head up, chin forward. Release your hands. And push yourself up to seated. Come to lie on the front of your body. We're going to come into Cobra Pose here. So from here, drop your forehead onto the mat, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We'll work a little bit on the legs before we begin. I want you to take your right leg up. I want you to point the toes. I want you to roll the right leg inwards. And then I want you to push the toes as far away as possible. And then set the leg back down on the mat. All 5 feet should have contact with the floor or the mat. Lift the left leg up, rotate the knee inwards, lengthen through the leg and drop it down. Perfect. All 10 toes are now pushing firmly into the floor. The knees have lifted off the mat. You're pushing in with your pelvis. You're tightening through the backs of the thighs and the glutes. And then and only then on the inhale you slowly rise up into Cobra. Hands are here in a supportive roll only. Bring the chin forward, lengthen through the front of the throat. Feel the lower back muscles engage, but don't make them do all the work. Let the legs take responsibility for this pose. Exhale, lower. Let's try that again. Push all 10 toes in. Engage kneecaps, lift them off the floor. Pull the thighs off the floor. And tighten through the backs of the legs and the glutes. Inhale, lift. Now you begin to push into the hands and lift to the point where you are still feeling comfortable in your lower back. If you have any niggles whatsoever in your lower back, then drop down to the point where you do not feel any discomfort and stay there. Never push through. Bring the chin up. Stretch through the front of the throat. Remember, this is for the throat chakra. Inhale, and as you exhale, slowly, with control, elbows tight, drop down onto your mat, turn your head to one side, bring your arms down by your sides, totally relaxing the legs. Let the shoulders drop down towards the mat. Lovely. Bring your hands either side of your chest, push up onto all fours. We'll do another little set for throat chakra, which are twists. So from here, bring your legs out in front, and again, there's a couple of variations with this. So bring your right foot as tight into your sit bone as you can, then take it over across the left thigh. If you like, and you don't have to do this part, you can take the left heel up towards the right buttock. From here, you're going to sweep your left arm over the front of your knee. Your right hand can go back behind the right hip, up onto the fingertips, and push up as erect in the spine as possible. If you can take this a little further, you might take the left arm inside the right thigh and across, and use the back of the arm against the thigh to push a little deeper into the twist. Whichever option you choose, continue to breathe from the tailbone and lengthen up to the crown of the neck. Inhale, and as you exhale, slowly uncurve from this pose. Release your right leg, release your left. And we'll switch into the other side. So left heel comes in as close as it can to left sit bone, crosses over the right thigh. The right heel might slide up to the left hip, or it might stay extended out in front. Your choice. The right arm can either come over the front of the left knee and sweep the left hand back behind, up onto the fingertips and get tall. Otherwise, you might bring your right arm inside your left leg. Use the back of the arm against the left thigh to push up tall. Lovely. Release on the exhale and rotate back to the front. Release legs. And here, again, yogi's choice. You can have strong legs with the toes pointing back towards your body and the heels slightly lifting off the mat, or you can have relaxed legs and a slight bend in the legs. I'm going to choose to bend. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, lifting up, creating length in the upper body, and as you exhale, drop down, lead with the chest, keep the head high, and let your hands just come to rest either side of your feet. Take a hold of your feet. Continue to breathe. And then as you exhale, finally drop the head in between the legs. And take a couple of lovely restful breaths here, always lengthening through the spine with every inhale, which might allow you a little more room to sink into the pose on the exhale. On the inhale, begin to lift your head, lift your chest, walk your hands, bring yourself back up into a comfortable seated position. Maybe on blocks, maybe not. Where have my blocks gone? I'm going to come and sit on a block. for a little bit of meditation. Best thing for third eye chakra, Eye Chakra, when your head is buzzing, full of ideas, or maybe full of information, and you just need to calm that all down. We're going to do that with a breathing technique, alternate nostril breathing. We've done it before. Bring your first two fingers into the third eye chakra, so that space in between your brows. Have your thumb and little finger free to close alternately and open each alternate nostril. Close your eyes. Close your nostril with your thumb and inhale through the other side. Pause. And then close before the exhale. Release the thumb. Exhale through the other side. Inhale. Close and release the little finger. Two more rounds like this. And then drop your hand with the palm facing upwards, fingers slightly stretched. Close your eyes and for another moment, just continue this breath. Relax the jaw. Open your eyes, just have a low gaze. Bring your hands back together in prayer pose. Make your way off your blocks if you were using any. And here we're going to try and finish with a headstand. Alternative headstands include the following. I have a wee knee headstand pad from TK Maxx, but you could use a cushion or a pillow. From here as well, you want to make sure that you can actually even do this. So if you bring your elbows alongside your head, now if your elbows are not higher than your own head, like if they're down here and your head is above, then you cannot do a headstand because you will be completely relying on your head, and that is not advisable. You must be using the strength of your arms and your armpits and your whole upper body, as well as a little bit of weight on your head. So do that little check first. If you don't want to do headstand at all, that is perfectly understandable. But what you can do is come into like a child's position, child's pose position, knees together, and let the top of your head roll on to a cushion or a pad like mine. And just bring your two hands back down to your feet. And just get used to be in this position. This is the beginning of a headstand, and if that is enough for you, that is enough for you. Contraindications for headstands or any issues with blood pressure, glaucoma, vertigo, if you're on your period. So please don't feel that you have to do this. Second stage, if you wanted to take a little further, is bring your hands, clasp the hands together in front of your support and roll up. Bring your elbows tight into one another and roll up onto the head. Now here, you can experiment with bringing your head off the cushion and lightly dropping it back on, because now you're really beginning to use your arms and you're not just putting the whole weight on your head. From here, you could tuck the toes and lift the knees off. And again, you're not putting all the weight on your head. You're just putting it, you're mixing it half and half between the upper arms and the head. Again, once more, you can try to walk a little bit closer until you feel the vertebrae of the spine stack neatly, straight on top of one another, okay? You mustn't allow the head to roll forward. Must be on the top of the head. Really well done. And just hold it here. Use the arms. And then drop down. Come off completely and come into a wee child's pose. Alternatively, you can try the full headstand. Push your mat against the wall. Have a little bit of cushioning for the top of your head. And come into the position we were in before. So interlace the hands. Bring the elbows either side underneath your shoulders. Roll them in, and then you can push out against, using the skin against the mat. Set the top of your head on your cushion. Lift, tuck the toes and lift up. Walk the toes ever so slightly closer. You may even feel your spine make contact with the wall, which is very reassuring. And remember, you can stay here at any stage. You might lift one knee. You might lift the other knee. Again, stay here. Or extend one leg, extend the other leg. Now I'm pushing firmly my elbows into the floor. And there is a little weight on my head, but it is not my whole body. And just look at the world from a different perspective. The view I have is of my street, which happens to have beautiful trees. Now it's just before spring, so there isn't any leaves or any growth, but the sky is bright and it's full of hope and potential. To come down out of the pose, do it exactly as the way you went in. Take one knee into the chest. Take the other knee into the chest. And slowly release one foot. Lovely. Down, back. Come into a child's pose. And let all of that information settle. Don't try a headstand if you've never tried it with me before. We will meet again where we can do this together with assistance. But if you're happy doing a headstand, if you've done one before, and you're comfortable doing it, then go for it, because it is a beautiful pose. Highly recommended to de-stress. From here, make your way into Shavasana. Lie on your mat. Take your legs wide. Lie all the way back. Oh. Get even in both hips. Get even in both shoulders. Tuck the chin slightly, lengthen the back of the neck. Rest your hands on your abdomen or off to the sides on the floor, palms facing up. Relax the jaw, open it wide. And then don't let it close, let it hang off to one side. Let the tongue float inside the mouth. Let the breath return. Slowly begin to awaken your body. Allow the sounds in your environment to make themselves known. Deepen your breath. Wriggle fingers and toes. Inhale, take arms up overhead, and as you exhale, draw them down and lift your knees into your chest, hug your knees into your chest. Roll around from side to side. Do any little movements you need to get the body back into balance. Use your intuition. Roll yourself up to seated. Get tall, lift through from the sit bones, up through the spine, through the back of the neck and through the crown. Bring your hands together in prayer pose in front of your heart space. Give yourself another breath here. Thank you so much for joining me in this class. Sending out all our love to those who are still able to keep our world moving. The caregivers, the lorry drivers, the food dispensers. Everyone else, keep safe, keep indoors, and keep active. Keep your well-being alive and well. Namaste.